Hello again, boys and girls. Now we're going to do science. As you know, yesterday was Earth Day. We celebrated the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. Now, does that mean the Earth is only 50 years old? No way. We know that's not true. But back in 1970, 50 years ago, same year I was born, the world decided there are many things happening to our Earth that need to change. So they established Earth Day as a day to remind everybody to take care of the Earth. Now, does that mean that's the only day we should take care of the Earth? No, we should take care of it every day. And as you saw in the virtual field trip that Mrs. Egan and I took, we walked through and we were picking up trash. Of course, we had our gloves on. Okay, but now, does that mean because you put garbage in the garbage can, that it just disappears? No, and that's what we're going to talk about today, because there are better ways to help solve the problem of trash. Now, my book here, I'll show you some pictures in, it says garbage. Toss a piece of garbage in the trash. And that's the end of it. Or is it? How is garbage causing problems, and what can people do to solve them? Okay? Well, do you know what happens to the trash? Sure. Garbage man comes and he takes it, right? But where does he take it? Does he take it to his house? No. Okay, he takes it to a place called a landfill. And a landfill is where they dump all the trash and then they cover it with some dirt. Now, while it's in there, some of that trash will decompose. Okay, decompose means it gets broken up, eaten by worms and bugs, and it becomes new soil. But not everything can do that, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, here's a picture of a landfill. It's not very pretty, is it? No. Around the world each day, a call goes out. Will someone please take out the garbage? And someone comes and picks it up, right? You have the garbage man comes, and it disappears. Or does it? Once it's swallowed up by the garbage truck, your trash doesn't just go away. It's taken to a place called a landfill, a huge hole that is a garbage dump. A layer of soil is put on top of it. And trucks like this keep loading layers and layers and layers of trash. Now, eventually, comes big piles, and they're stinky. Okay, now, what would happen if the landfills become so filled that they can't put any more trash in them? They might say, oh, well, sorry, but you have to dump the trash in your yard. Or we have to go to the parks and start using the parks for dumps. That wouldn't be good for us, would it? No, not at all. You wouldn't have a place to play. I wouldn't have a place to walk my dogs. Okay, so that is the point in making less trash. Now, how do we do that? Okay, well, that's what we're going to talk about now. I'll show you more pictures in a minute. Okay, remember the story that Mrs. Egan and I read, The Earth and I? Do we want our Earth to look like this? It wouldn't be healthy for us or any of the creatures in nature, right? And then plants wouldn't be able to grow, and our soil wouldn't be healthy, and we wouldn't have great fruits and vegetables to eat. So let's look over here. I got a lot of stuff going on here. Okay. Now we're going to talk about how to make less trash. Okay, and the best way to make less trash is to reduce. Reduce means to make less. How can we make less? Okay, well, we can reuse things, right? It's always good to buy things that you can use over again. Okay, now these bags right here, the plastic ones you get at the store, they're very bad for the environment because this in the landfill is not biodegradable. Biodegradable means that it can't be broken down to make new soil. It would take hundreds of years for plastic to decompose. And when it does, the sun beats down on it, it puts harmful chemicals in the air. Now, what would happen if all we did was throw all of our trash in the landfill? Well, let's look up here. Here's a picture of the sun. And here's a picture of some children. Now, okay, I'm going to draw you something right here. It's called the ozone layer. And this is becoming a problem for our world. The ozone layer is kind of like a protective force field that protects us from the sun's harmful rays. Okay? But when people make too much trash or put the wrong things in the trash that go to the landfill and the hot sun beats down on it, those things will make them green. Pretend this is like plastic and things that are not biodegradable. See, natural resources, some are renewable. You saw that in the video clip. Renewable means we can make more. Like water, it rains. We can make more. Trees, we can make more. It doesn't mean you should kill them all, only when necessary, right? If a branch is hanging or if a tree falls, it has to come down. Okay, so things that go in the landfill that really shouldn't be there, they can't decompose. They can't become new soil. Okay, so the sun's rays would go on those and melt them. And then when it melts them, it puts harmful chemicals in the air. That's kind of air pollution. Pollution means to pollute, means to make dirty. We don't want to pollute the ground. We don't want to pollute the water. We certainly don't want to pollute the air because we need it to stay alive. We need to breathe it. Plants need it to stay alive. Animals need it. Okay, so with those harmful chemicals that can go in the air, okay, they put holes in the ozone layer. Now, if these holes get so big that we don't have an ozone layer anymore, we won't have anything to protect us from the sun's harmful rays. That's why in the summertime, right, or anytime you're in the sun, you want to put sunblock on. Okay, it's not as bad as it was. It's worse for you guys than it was when I was a kid. Okay, because even if your skin tans, you want to wear that sunblock because you want to protect your body from the harmful rays of the sun. Okay, so putting things in the trash that should not go to the landfill can put holes in our ozone layer. Okay, other things that can put holes in the ozone layer is too much smoke. Some people call that smog. Okay, some places burn their trash. Now, if they burn their trash instead of putting it in a landfill because they're running out of room in the landfill and they have to burn it, well, isn't that going to put more holes in the ozone layer? Yes, so that's another problem. You don't want to overfill the landfills because there'll be no more room, and you don't want to burn the trash because then it can put holes in the ozone layer. So we have to find another way to make less trash. Okay, other things that are harmful is styrofoam. You can see it. This is a styrofoam lid. Styrofoam is made from, and if that goes in the landfill, again, it puts chemicals in the air called chlorofluorocarbons. Chlorofluorocarbons are very bad for the atmosphere and the air. Okay, so we're going to talk about how we can help protect the earth and the ozone layer, and in doing that, you're also protecting yourself and all of the creatures on the earth. Okay, now how can we do that? Well, instead of going to the store and taking the bags the store gives you, bring your own bags. And you can use them over. So this is another way of how we can reuse. And if we reuse this, then we reduce. We make less harmful trash. Okay, another way to reuse and reduce, okay, here's a water bottle, right? Now we don't want this in the landfill because it's plastic. It's very harmful for the atmosphere. We'll put holes in the ozone layer when the sun melts it. Okay, so what do you think is better? Buy these all the time? Or have one of these that you can fill up over and over again? Yes, this one, because you can reuse it. And if you reuse it, you're reducing, making less harmful trash. Now, this bottle actually, Miss Sweeney's, I just keep refilling it and refilling it and refilling it. I use it over and over again. In the summertime when I play, in the fall when I play a lot of softball, I bring my Gatorade. Okay, now of course they only sell Gatorade in those plastic bottles, right? So instead of buying a bunch of small ones, I buy the big size, and guess what I do? That's right. I fill this up and use it over and over and over again. Now, even if you do buy things in plastic, you should not throw them in your regular trash. And we're going to talk about things we should not throw in the regular trash because they're not biodegradable. They cannot be broken up and made into new soil. So I have a lot of things here to show you. Let's see. Okay. This is a tin can. Okay. Okay. It's made from materials that come from the earth. But does that mean we should put it back in the earth? No, it's not. it's a natural resource, but it would take hundreds and hundreds of years to break down to make new soil. So this type of thing, and the plastic bottle, you recycle. Now recycle means you put it in a special can, the recycle man picks it up, he brings it to a special factory, and there they are able to melt it down safely and make new ones with it. So that's where the recycling part comes in. So you can reuse things, buy things you can reuse over and over and over again. You don't even have to throw it in the trash. Okay, and you can recycle. So plastic has a special place. Like in the class, we have our recycling can. I always tell you, put your yogurts in there, put your spoons in there. Things that are made from plastic should go in there, not in the trash. Because if it goes in the trash, it's going to go in a landfill. And then it's not going to biodegrade, and it's going to put holes in our ozone layer. So these type of things, cans, can go in recycling. Plastic in the recycling. Let's see what else. This is a glass. You can hear it's a glass jar. Now, I kept it to reuse it. It's got a lid. It can hold stuff for me. So if I have a little leftovers, I can put it in this. Or, if you have no use for it, if you can't reuse it, then recycle it. Put it in the recycling can for the glass. And again, glass comes from the earth too, but it would take hundreds of years for it to decompose, to break down and make new soil. So, it goes to a factory again, they melt it, and they make new with it. Okay, here's more plastic. My raspberry and strawberry containers, plastic, goes in the recycling. A tin can. Okay, you think that should go here? No. It's a type of metal, just like the can is, and again, can be recycled. That means they'll take it and make something else with it. Okay, here's another tin. Recycle it. Another little glass jar that I reuse. Okay, paper. Paper, this is like our newspaper. This can be recycled because what they do is, remember, paper comes from trees. So it's from a natural resource. It's man-made, but it came from a tree, a natural resource. Okay, this can decompose, but most places have recycling for paper too, and cardboard. And again, what they do with this is actually one year I made paper with my kids. I took recycled paper, and you mush it up, and you put it in water, and you put it in this pulp, and then they make new paper with the paper. So there are so many things. So the best thing to do is reduce, make less trash. How do we do that? By getting things that we can reuse and things that we can recycle. Okay, so you don't want to put these type of items in the trash. Okay, now I'm going to show you what composting is. Miss Sweeney does composting. And what composting is, I'm going to get a bin to dump this in to show you. Hold on. I got to empty it. Go. Back. Okay, so composting. Now, if any of you have a garden at home, composting is great for the garden. And what it does is, you're making new healthy soil, and you're helping your plants grow because you're giving them fertilizer. Fertilizer will help them grow healthy. Okay, so in my kitchen, I keep, it's plastic, so I'm reusing it. I keep a compost. This is where I dump things that come from nature. So if it's a natural resource, if it comes from nature, you can put it in your compost. Is this in your one? No? Okay. All right, let's see what I have in my compost. I have a banana peel, an orange peel, because it comes from nature, right? I have some strawberry tops. Okay, eggshells, comes from nature, right? Okay, more. Oh, here we go. Here's a good one. Even my tea bags. And with the tea bags, all I do is take the string off. Okay, open them up with scissors. Oh, I can open it. Okay, and even the tea bags, because tea leaves grow. And I empty it into my compost bin. And now also you see a lot of this. Looks like dirt, but it's not. My little pods
from my K-cups. I empty the top, I take a spoon, scoop it out, because coffee beans also come from nature. Okay, now what do I do with that? Out in the yard, I have a big garbage can with some dirt in it, and I put all that in there with the dirt. I mix it up once in a while. Now what happens to it while it's in there? It does take some time, but eventually it's going to become healthy soil that I can put in my garden. Now I'm going to show you. Here's actually, this is from my compost pile outside. It has a piece of celery in it. Okay, now what's really cool is, what else is in there? Oh, another banana peel. Let's see if I can find you the soil makers. Some soil makers in here. Now this is soil. Okay, so some of it was already soil, but some of it has been made into new soil. How, you ask? All of these things that are natural resources and come from nature, we can put back in the earth, right? So does that mean you should throw all your compost on the ground? No. You keep it in your yard, keep it in a bin. Okay, look at that. Can you see? Here are the healthy soil maker. A healthy soil maker. It's a worm. That's right. The worms break all this stuff up, and when they poop, it's new soil. Pretty cool, right? So you don't ever want to harm worms. They're one of God's creatures, but they are wonderful helpers to the earth. Do I have another one in here? There's probably a couple in there. Okay, but okay. So do you think a worm could eat through a plastic bottle? No. Cans? No. Glass? No. So the natural resource, the biodegradable, that's what biodegradable means. It can go back into the earth. And usually our natural resources are biodegradable, these types. Okay. All right, let me give the worm back his dirt. So don't harm the worms. Often after it rains, you might see a lot of worms because their holes get flooded. You don't want to hurt those worms. They are helpful to the earth. Okay, let me move this out of the way. Drink of water. Now I have dirty hands. Okay, so what we're going to do over here now, so we want to make less trash by recycling, putting things in their proper containers, reusing, try and buy things that you can use over and over again. Miss Sweeney is a super recycler. All those Ziploc bags I always use them over and over again. I have Ziploc bags in school with kids' names on that are in college now because I always try to find another use for things. Okay. We make less. All right. Here I have aluminum, that's a type of metal, plastic, paper and cardboard, and compost. Okay, we're going to decide what should go where, and you're going to do an activity on Seesaw similar to this. Okay, I have a water bottle. Should it go in the aluminum? No. Plastic? Yes. Okay, I have a cereal box. Where should that go? Should that go in the aluminum? No. Plastic? No. Paper and cardboard? Yes. Okay. An apple. Where do you think the apple should go? Now the apple can go in a regular garbage can at home if you don't do composting like I do. Okay? But should it go with aluminum? No. Plastic? No. Paper? No. Compost? If you do composting. But like I said, that can go, that's not bad to go in your regular trash if you don't do composting, because when it goes to the landfill, it will decompose. It's biodegradable. It can be broken up and made into new soil. Okay, let's see what else I have. Paper bag. Right, the paper. Paper cardboard. Eggshell. Right, in the composting. I showed you I have eggshells in mine. Compost. A can of soup.
In the compost, no, the worms can't break that and make new soil. In the paper and cardboard, no, they can't make new paper out of a can. The plastic, no, it's not even plastic, right? No, it has to go in with the aluminum, with the metals, okay? All right, I think you get the idea of that, right? Okay, so the importance of recycling and reusing is so that we reduce, we make less trash. Because if we don't make less trash, we're going to run out of places to put it. All the landfills will get so filled, what if they have to dump it into the water where we like to swim, where creatures live? That would be so sad. It would, right? Yes. Okay, another thing you can do to help the environment, if you're going somewhere and it's close enough to walk and it's a nice day, walk. Because, yeah, you might get there faster in the car, but your car actually puts chemicals into the air, and that causes air pollution, right? Other examples of air pollution? Well, I know some of you have a fireplace, and that helps save gas and oil, which are a natural resource. That I mentioned the other day, my dad used to say, go put a sweater on instead of turning the heat up. Okay, but that's a better alternative. That's better to use a fireplace because it does go in the air, the smoke, yes, but we do have the trees that help keep the air clean. Okay? All right, let's look at some of the things that you're going to do. Here's a picture that shows you with recycling what the earth looks like. Clean, healthy, plants growing, birds flying. But then without recycling, because remember, if we don't recycle, we're making more trash that goes into the dumps. And when it melts, it can put harmful chemicals in the air that affect the ozone layer. And actually on this side, here's a picture of, here's the sun. The ozone layer, see it? Looks like a halo, but you see a crack in it. That's because pollutants into the air will put holes in it. And we don't want any more holes in our ozone layer, right? Okay, we want to be protected by the ozone layer. Okay, so, and then here's what the earth will look like without recycling. The whole earth has become what? A garbage dump. We don't want that. It wouldn't be good for us or any of nature. There wouldn't be any more nature. Kind of like in the story of the Lorax. That's what that story was all about. Okay. So that's one thing you're going to do. This one, you will take your time and have fun. It's color-coded. Children loving the earth. And on the other side, there's a maze to help them, instead of putting trash on the ground, put it in the can. Okay, and now, this really cool thing that you're going to do. I'm going to move my table. I gave all of you a coffee filter. And what you're going to do with this coffee filter is pretty cool. It's kind of going to remind you of our rainbow snowflakes. Remember we use coffee filters for that? Okay, you're going to take a blue and a green marker. Okay? And you want to color it. And you don't have to color it completely. Because when it's finished, it's going to look like this. Like the earth. Okay, so watch. And you don't, like I said, you don't have to color completely. See what I'm doing? It's not colored completely. And remember, what is there more of on the earth? Water or land? Right. When we talked about creation, there is more water. So you want more of it to be blue, then green. Okay? Alright, more green. More land here. Oopsie. Blue. Table's hit me. Okay, like I said, you don't have to color completely. I still see white. You see white? Okay, then you're going to get a spray bottle with water. Now you're going to put this on, don't put it on the rug, don't do it on the table,
put on a newspaper or something, or if you can do it outside if it's not windy. You don't want it to blow away. Okay? What you're going to do is have it on the ground or with something underneath it because it's going to get wet and you don't want the marker to go through. Watch. You see the colors are bleeding together. I'm going to have to pick it up. So I'm going to watch. You don't want to make it too wet because then you lose all of your color. Now, and then you're going to let it dry. When it dries, the colors will bleed together and it will look like an earth. While it's drying, or before you even do it, you can ask a grown-up to help you. You're going to take that yellow paper and you're going to fold it in half. Okay. You're going to ask mom or dad, I need a rag, to put your hand like this. Your thumb and your pointer finger should be pointing to the fold. It has to be pointing to the fold. Okay? And then ask them to trace it. Don't move your finger. Ask them to trace it. Don't move your fingers. Okay. Now, after that, you're going to cut it out. Scissors. Okay. Now remember, it's very important that your fingers are touching the fold. Because when you cut it out, if they're not touching the fold, it won't work. Okay? Don't cut around the fold. Keep the fold on there. Okay, don't cut right there. Keep the fold. Down to the pointer. The pointer's touching the fold. I'm not going to touch that fold. I'm going around the finger, around the fold. Okay? Okay, now when I open it, they should be connected. Watch. And you tell me what it looks like. Did I do that right? Right. A heart. Because, you know how you do that heart symbol with your hands? Put it like this. After your earth is dried, you can carefully map it out first. Put some glue on the parts that are on the earth. Your hands are smaller than mine, so your whole hand will probably fit. And you write I here and earth here. And what will it say? I love earth. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so today you learned, we reviewed our natural resources, things that come from nature that we use in our daily life. You want to conserve them. Conserve means save. Don't waste them. Because some are renewable, can make more. Like we know we're going to get more rain. But you don't want to waste the water, right? And we don't want to pollute water ever. Okay, some are non-renewable. We can't make more. So we want to conserve them. Save them. Don't waste them. Okay, we also talked about trash. The best thing to do with your trash is to reduce. What's reduce mean? Make less. How do we make less? We recycle, right? Our plastic, our cans, we put them in the right can. They'll bring it to a factory. They'll make different things with it. It's pretty amazing the stuff that they can make with trash. Okay, and we can do composting, right? Miss Sweeney showed you her compost pile. The things that come from nature can go back to the earth because they are biodegradable. They will decompose, become new soil. The worms will help make new soil. Okay, and we need that healthy, clean soil, not just for the animals that live outside, but for ourselves too, because we don't want polluted fruits and vegetables, do we? No. So the 3 R's: reduce, make less, reuse, and recycle. And by reusing things and recycling,
you are reducing. You're making less trash. Okay, boys and girls, because we don't want our playgrounds and our oceans and lakes that we love to swim in to become polluted. And we certainly don't want a place like there was in the story of the Lorax with no signs of life, right? Okay, boys and girls. So, right? Make Earth Day what? Every day. All right, boys and girls, I will see you tomorrow.